Stop. Don't scroll yet, because this moment is not neutral. Something has already shifted, and if you move past this too quickly, you won't realize what just tried to reach you. This isn't fear meant to scare you. This is awareness meant to protect you. There are moments when life feels quiet on the surface, but tense underneath. When nothing looks wrong, yet everything feels alert. That's where you are right now, and it's not by accident. You were pulled here because something you avoided, delayed, or ignored is coming back around, not to punish you, but to test your awareness. This test is subtle. It doesn't announce itself loudly. It comes disguised as a normal decision, a small reaction, a choice you've made 100 times before. But this time, it matters. You've already felt it, that pause before responding, that hesitation that didn't feel like fear, it felt like knowing. That wasn't doubt, that was discernment waking up. Here's the truth most people miss. When your life is about to shift, pressure doesn't increase outside first, it increases inside. Your patience gets tested, your reactions get exposed, your old patterns knock one last time. And the danger isn't what's coming, the danger is responding the old way. You're not being watched to see if you fail. You're being watched to see if you choose differently, because what opens next depends on that. This is why distractions feel louder lately, why certain people suddenly resurface, why situations feel repetitive. Not because you're stuck, but because you're standing at a threshold, and thresholds demand clarity. If you react from fear, you repeat the cycle. If you react from awareness, you exit it. This is where chosen ones separate themselves, not by perfection, but by restraint. You don't need to fight. You don't need to explain. You don't need to rush. You need to pause. Because the next few days are sensitive. Words will matter more. Timing will matter more. Energy will matter more. What you walk away from will be just as important as what you step into. This isn't a warning meant to scare you. It's a signal meant to steady you. You're not late. You're not behind. You're not being tested because you're weak. You're being tested because you're ready. Stay aware today. Stay grounded. Don't let urgency make decisions for you. What's meant to open for you is already unlocked, but only if you approach it with clarity instead of panic. This moment came to you because you could handle it, and once you pass this phase, things won't feel heavy anymore. They'll feel direct. Stay present. This is the kind of day that changes direction quietly.
Now listen carefully, because this part is where most people stop paying attention, and that's exactly where they miss it. What's unfolding around you right now isn't dramatic. It doesn't look like chaos. It doesn't look like a miracle either. It looks ordinary. That's the test. When real shifts arrive, they don't always announce themselves with signs and symbols. Sometimes they arrive as options, two responses, two paths, one familiar, one uncomfortable, and whichever one you choose decides how the next chapter opens. This is why your intuition has been louder lately. Not emotional, not anxious, clear. You're sensing when something is off before it goes wrong. You're noticing when a conversation carries weight before words are spoken. You're feeling the cost of saying yes and the relief of saying no. That's not coincidence. That's calibration. Your nervous system is learning the difference between urgency and alignment. Here's what matters now. If something pushes you to rush, prove, defend, or over-explain, pause. If something feels calm but firm, even if it asks you to let go, pay attention. The old version of you survived by reacting fast. This version survives by responding slow, and that difference protects you more than you realize. There are people who won't understand this change. They'll feel the distance before you do. They may test boundaries just to see if you'll bend again. You don't need to confront that. You don't need to explain it. Your clarity will speak for you. Right now, the most powerful thing you can do is nothing unnecessary. No extra effort, No forced decisions, no emotional negotiations. Let things reveal themselves. Because what's not meant to stay will feel heavy, and what is meant for you will feel steady, even if it scares you a little. This phase isn't about gaining more, it's about losing what no longer fits. And once that happens, movement becomes effortless. You're not waiting anymore, you're aligning. And alignment always feels quiet before it feels obvious. Stay grounded today. Notice what drains you. Notice what steadies you. That awareness is guiding you out of an old cycle, without noise, without force. This isn't the end, it's the narrowing of the path. And what comes next will make sense only because you didn't rush through this part.
And here's where it becomes clear why all of this had to slow down. Because if things had moved faster, you would have carried old habits into a new space, and that would have cost you what's coming next. Right now, something inside you is reorganizing. Not emotionally, not mentally, at the level where you decide before you think. You're no longer asking, "What should I do?" You're starting to ask, "What feels aligned?" That shift changes everything. You're noticing that your body reacts before your thoughts do. A tightness when something isn't right. A calm expansion when something is. That's not imagination. That's self-trust returning. And once self-trust returns, life stops feeling unpredictable. You begin to recognize patterns before they repeat. You sense when an offer is distraction, not opportunity. You feel when silence is safer than explanation. This is where you stop leaking energy, not because you withdraw, but because you choose. You're also realizing something else. Some delays weren't blocks, they were filters. They kept you from stepping into situations you weren't meant to sustain. They protected you from building on unstable ground. That's why what's opening now feels different. It doesn't rush you, it doesn't beg you, it doesn't pressure you to prove anything. It waits. And the fact that you can sit with that without anxiety means you're ready. This version of you doesn't chase clarity, it recognizes it, doesn't force movement, it allows timing. And because of that, what's coming won't require you to abandon yourself to hold on to it. You're not stepping into chaos, you're stepping into coherence. This is the part where life stops testing your patience and starts responding to your awareness. Stay present in the small choices today. They're shaping something larger than they appear. You don't need to know the whole path, just the next aligned step. And you already do. What's different now is not the situation around you. It's how little it controls you. You're no longer pulled into urgency just because something is loud. You're no longer persuaded just because something looks impressive. You're no longer afraid that saying no will cost you everything. That fear used to run the system. It doesn't anymore. You've noticed it in small ways. How certain conversations don't hook you the way they used to. How certain invitations feel heavy before they even begin. How certain paths that once looked exciting now feel misaligned. That's discernment, not withdrawal. And discernment always arrives quietly. This is the phase where you stop reacting to life and start selecting it. You're choosing where your attention goes, where your effort goes, who gets access to your energy. And because of that, things around you begin to reorganize. People either adjust or fade. Situations either stabilize or dissolve. Opportunities either deepen or disappear. None of this is punishment, it's calibration. Life is responding to the frequency you're holding now. You're also realizing something important. You don't need to rush alignment. Alignment moves on its own. What's meant to stay will not require constant fixing. What's meant to grow will not demand exhaustion. What's meant to arrive will not confuse you. That's why this phase feels quieter than expected. No fireworks, no dramatic announcements, just steadiness. And steadiness is powerful, because when you're steady, nothing external can knock you off course. You're no longer asking for reassurance. You're no longer scanning for signs. You're listening to what feels consistent, not what feels intense. And that's how you know this shift is real. Intensity fades. Alignment lasts. What's coming next won't shock you. It will fit you. And that's how you'll recognize it. Not by adrenaline, not by pressure, but by the absence of resistance. Stay where you are internally. Don't rush ahead mentally. This phase isn't about doing more. It's about moving cleaner. And once that's established, the next door doesn't need to be forced. It opens.
And this is where it settles. Not with noise, not with applause, but with certainty. You don't feel the need to explain yourself anymore. You don't feel rushed to prove anything. You don't feel the urge to go back and check who noticed, because something inside you already knows. You're standing on solid ground now. The questions that once kept you awake don't have the same grip. The future that once felt intimidating now feels open. Not predictable, but possible. And that's enough. You've learned that peace isn't the absence of challenge, it's the absence of self-betrayal. You're no longer negotiating with situations that cost you clarity. You're no longer shrinking to keep things comfortable. You're no longer confusing familiarity with safety. This phase didn't harden you, it refined you. You still care. You still feel deeply, but now there's discernment between what deserves your heart and what only drains it. That's growth. And because of that, what comes next won't ask you to abandon yourself to receive it. It will meet you at the level you've reached. The right conversations will feel easy. The right opportunities won't require chasing. The right direction won't need convincing. You'll recognize it by how calm your body feels around it. No rush, no pressure, no inner argument. Just a quiet sense of, this fits. You didn't miss your moment. You weren't late. You weren't off track. You were becoming someone who could hold what's coming without losing themselves again. And now you can. So move forward steadily. Choose deliberately. Trust what feels aligned over what feels urgent. This season isn't about speed, it's about stability. And from here, everything builds cleanly. You're ready.